Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Rajesh Verma's YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to discuss the problems of aging. I suppose you know what aging is. The progressive increase in your age. That's a very crude definition. Means when you take birth to the last point, when you dissolve in oblivion, till that process, there's something increases, something decreases. So this whole process comes under the aging. In technical terms, when the body cells stops dividing further, that is known as aging. I think you could get it. But and then one important thing, aging is an inevitable process. Whatever status you have, whatever amount of money you have, whatever thing you will have to suffer, you have to walk through this aging process. You can delay it. Yes, we can delay it through certain activities that comes under your physical activities, proper nutrition, your positive attitude and positive thinking process, psychological fitness and everything. All these things include that if you process this an ideal routine, you can delay the aging and your aging can be qualitative, go with the over quality. You will face less problems, but certainly you will face. So what are the common problems an individual face during aging are? Don't worry about that. We are going to discuss in this. So this aging process is a gradual process and the problems an individual faces during this process are inevitable. They will come, certainly they will come, but the intensity and the frequency of these problems can vary according to the your genetic structure, your lifestyle, your viewpoints towards your life and all other several factors. So let us start, dear friends, today's topic, that is topic of this video, problems of aging. The front image which is in front of you of this old man in traditional Haryanvi attire, you can just make out from his features, mostly facial features, his neck, his eyebrows, his nose, ears. Through this structure or this image itself, you can find out or you can imagine in during aging process what we are going to experience. This is the representative image. So in this process we'll be discussing the as customary, as we discuss your introduction, certain characteristics of aging, and finally we'll go for the problems of aging. So without wasting time, now let us start the what Gita say on aging. Gita is a very universal literature and most commonly used, uh, you can say, holy book. The chapter 2, Sloka 13, what it says. Daino asminathya dehe kumaram yonam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्त्र न मुहति. What does this slok means? This sloka is written in Sanskrit language. As you know, Gita is means song of God. When Arjuna was facing a dilemma whether to fight in a war, he asked suggestions, request from the Lord Krishna, who was his charioteer, and you know that Lord Krishna spoke this Gita in 45 minutes, or as we psychologists call it, as a talking cure. So in that literature, in that holy book or universal book, what is written is in chapter 2, Sloka 13, the Krishna says, as the embodied soul continually passes, in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. That's a process. You'll face the boyhood, then you'll go for the youth, then the old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at death. When you die or when we die, the soul of our body doesn't go with our body. It changes, it passes to the new body. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Means if you are self-aware, if you are conscious on your actions, behavior, or you can say you are mindful about your activities, and if you know the truth of your life, so the change that occurred during your process from birth to death, that is from boyhood, from infanthood to boyhood to youth to old age, so and you know that finally I have to die and my soul will be passed on to the another body. If you aware about all these activities, this is a very simple point I'm telling, then you are not bewildered by the what change comes to your body, to your mind, or to your activities. This is the point Sri Krishna want to make through this sloka. So now let's introduce you something about aging. Aging in respect of psychology is being studied by geropsychologists. Gero means geropsychology is the branch of study of psychology that deals with the study of aging and psychological intervention in respect of aging as suggested by the American Psychological Association. It's an inviolable process. As I told you, it's inevitable process. It has to go on. An end of life stage where body experiences degeneration in all domains. Your cognitive domain, your social domain, physical domain, psychological domain, or financial domain, or any other domain which you can think of. So it has to go. It has to degenerate. Your body has to degenerate in all domains. So that is, you call it the aging. And dear friends, I think you could get the point that the study of aging and psychological interventions is known as geropsychology. What are the problems an individual faces during the aging? First, that individual suffers from geriatric syndrome. What is geriatric syndrome is, or you call it a geriatric syndrome. Complex health states such as frailty, urinary incontinence, falls, delirium, and pressure ulcers, as suggested by the World Health Organization. These are the problems. This comes under the geriatric syndrome. Next was cardiovascular system suffers due to stiffening and clogging of your arteries. Your muscles become stiff. Your arteries become stiff. They get clogged due to your lifestyle, due to your food intake, and due to your aging process naturally. And as I told you, cells stop dividing further. So that due to that, your cardiovascular system, which needs more flexibility in the arteries and veins and your muscles, has to suffer. And you individual face problems in advanced stage. And then comes the chances of injury increases due to decreased muscular and bone strength. As I will discuss in further slides also, that your increases, what increases your chances of getting injured, because your balance get disturbed, your muscles become weak, your bones become weak. So there are chances, and the recovery of from the injury is also, it takes longer time due to the various factors. Then comes your, due to structural changes in digestive system, constipation is found to be more common. Your digestive system gets changed. So due to that process, your digestive system suffers and individual faces problem of constipation more often. Then comes the urge of frequent urination due to loss of elasticity of bladder. The bladder, which manage your the urination process, get the elasticity is decreased. Due to that, individual suffers from the problems related to passing the urine. Information processes slows down. This is a cognitive change. This is a cognitive problem that individual the faces. Means the information processing slows down, leading to problems related to cognition and perception. At the age of 60 years, your farsightedness stabilizes. Means you it becomes start degenerating. It cannot go beyond that. After 60 years, it becomes difficult. You need to use your that is spectacles, specs to see the things clearly. And when your far-sighted stabilizes, certainly vision becomes clouded. And the reason for that is your the lenses of your eyes get stiffened or get yellowish color. And during this age, during the advanced age or aging process, glaucoma is a major cause of vision degeneration. Next comes the tooth decay leads to difficulty in chewing food properly that have detrimental effect on the digestion. So this is a very important thing I tell you that the old people they suffer tooth decay. Not that tooth are so limitless process or so, tooth are so you can call it as a weak. Tooth are not weak. Reason is the tissue of teeth starts to decay. The tissue which holds the teeth, it start decay. What it leads to is the blood vessels of teeth decreases. The number of blood vessels they get decreases. Due to that, and one thing I tell you, very important thing, due to that, your teeth start decaying. And the teeth of human beings are designed to stay healthy almost up to 200 years. So it's not the problem with the tooth, it's a problem with your lifestyle, your food, or your own muscles. It is not with the tooth. I think you're getting my point. And there is a one problem, peridental problem. The dental, this is known as the dental problem of aging, a disorder of aging that aged people face more often. Sorry. If your tooth get decayed, you chew less food. That leads to malnourishment, and that consequently leads to frailty, weakening of strength, weakening of muscles, weakening of your bones. So this is the cyclic process where the decay of tooth leads to your weakening of your strength. Then comes the skin loses its erstwhile luster and elasticity. When you are so confident of your skin, so proud of your skin, that my skin is so beautiful and so shining, that is that luster you are going to lose during your aging process. And due to that, your skin becomes dry, wrinkled, which leads to chapping and itching, more common itching. So next comes the sexual activities or the reproductive system goes down, are not as desirable or as enjoyable as it used to be. Feeling of low self-worth. Individual feels low self-worth because the individual degenerates in almost all domains. Due to that, they feel low self-worth, which induces the helplessness and hopelessness. The most common health problem faced by aged is hypertension, osteoarthritis, diabetes, or bronchial asthma. These are the common problems, health problems individual faces during the old age. Then here comes feel sad. This is a psychological issue. It's a very important issue. Sometimes due to unwed daughters. The daughters are not still virgin. They are not been married. They are still unmarried. At home, alcoholic son or son-in-law. This is also one of the problem. Financial losses, illness of spouse, children staying away from them, death of children, or not owning a house. These are the certain issues. Do the individual feel sad, and which leads to psychological problems, helplessness, or hopelessness. All people feel that they are ignored by family members because of their physical illness and economic dependence. So this is also a big issue and big problem because they feel ignored, alienated. Then comes the taste suffers due to decrease in number of taste buds. When individuals see, there are two things. Tooth also get decayed, taste also suffers. So due to that, food becomes tasteless. So individual take less food, and that leads to malnourishment. Getting my point? That leads to malnourishment leads to very good. You are right. Leads to your weakening of strength and weakening of your bone strength and muscular strength. Okay, so good point. So now let us start. Next point is your heart beats slowly. Why? Due to slow contraction. And if an individual engages in a strenuous exercise, adult heart beats almost 200 beats per minute, whereas the individual, that old people, that his or heart beats almost up to 125 beats per minute. So that's the difference. Why? Because the contraction is less, muscles are stiff. Your rib cage, you understand? We call it the Hindi may we call it the pasli. That rib cage, your bones, they become more stiff and less and allow less flexibility to your lungs, to your heart. That is also one of the reasons. And that leads to difficulty in breathing. Your brain shrinks. When the brain shrinks, certainly the weight of the brain reduced and cognitive activities, psychological activities get reduced. That is the reason. See how your aging is related to your frailty. This is a very important point to explain. One more thing. Your backbone shrinks. Do you know when you are growing up from childhood to your adolescence, your backbone increases, height of the backbone increases. But when you pass it on to old age, that time your backbone shrinks. Male faces almost 1 inch shrinkage in their backbone, whereas female faces more than 2 inches due to various factors. That is due to loss of calcium, less intake of that food which carries calcium, etc., etc., etc. The next point is your smell ability is at its peak between 30 to 60 years of age. You can smell and identify it, but it witnesses a sharp fall after the age of 80 years. It is also directly linked with your nourishment. If your tooth are decayed, you chew less food. Your taste suffers. Your food becomes tasteless, and your smell also suffers. You feel like to have lesser food. The next point is elderly find it difficult to bear extreme temperatures and consequently find it difficult to adjust. So they feel very difficulty problems in adjusting with the cold or hot temperatures and face various problems. And the final point here is, dear friend, is problem of terminal drop. What is terminal drop? It's a very important technical point. You must know it. So that is few months or years prior to death, individual faces sharp decline in IQ. So this is also one of the indications that individual going to the final destination. That is known as your terminal drop, means few months or years prior to your death, the IQ of an individual declines with very sharp rate. So dear friends, this was all about. These are my references. You can always cross check them. And the next video will be variability and introduction. What is variability? We'll make it a slide for you and we'll discuss in the next video. Dear friends, by the time, if you have any critical comments to make or you want to say something, you can write in my box or you can email me at vermasujit@yahoo.com. One thing important, if you like this video, share with your friends or those individuals who are studying psychology, or if you dislike it fully or some part of it, kindly let me know so that I can improve in my next video, and that will come with a new juice and better contents. By the time, thanks for watching this video from my core of my heart.